The human psyche holds as many mysteries as the depths of the ocean. Scientists are constantly studying the brain, uncovering new patterns in behavior, and the number of surprises continues to grow. Learning something interesting about oneself as a person is always thrilling. In this video, you will discover 25 facts about human psychology, get to know yourself a bit better, and find it easier to handle life's challenges. The human brain keeps working even when we're resting. During this time, it filters out what really needs to be stored in memory and what can be set aside. Upon waking up, you'll never forget what's truly important to you, but you may not recall exactly what held your attention yesterday. A person feels more successful and happy only when their brain is actively engaged. Moreover, the brain isn't interested in monotonous tasks. Rather, it thrives on constant activity, concentration, and switching from one task to another. Only during such moments does a person feel happy. Also, when people become happier than usual, their need for sleep decreases. Research shows that a happy person's sleep is shorter by about 10%. You can't ignore food, sex, or danger. Have you ever noticed that people always stop to watch scenes of accidents? In fact, we can't help but pay attention to dangerous situations. Every person has a specific part of the brain responsible for survival and reproduction. Researchers have shown that if a person learned in youth to resist something they really wanted, life's challenges are easier and come with fewer losses. People are able to calmly accept even major changes in their lives if these changes happen gradually rather than all at once. Why do people stay in marriages that harm their psyche? The answer is simple. They've grown accustomed and resigned to it because the changes didn't happen overnight, giving them time to get used to the bad. Their reality changed slowly, and eventually the abnormal became normal. It takes no more than 2 months, precisely 66 days, to get used to something. That's how long it takes for a person to form any habit to the point of automatism. For example, if you want to switch to a healthy diet, it may take a bit less time, around 55 days, whereas getting used to regular exercise might take longer, up to 75 days. Each day, the average person has between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts. Our brain is 1,000,000 times more powerful than the most advanced computer. But look at how we use this power. 80% of our thoughts are negative, and most of these negative thoughts repeat day after day. So, all the silly thoughts that sometimes pop into your head are completely normal. It happens to everyone. The best remedy for worries, anxiety, and stress is reading. It has a faster calming effect on the body. Surprisingly, this method is far better than drinking alcohol, taking a walk, having tea, or listening to music. Psychology has a principle. The more we expect from an event, the greater the likelihood of devastating disappointment. The more you expect, the less you get. The less you expect, the more you get. If a window in a house is broken, soon no windows will be left unbroken, and then looting may begin. This is the basic idea behind the broken windows theory. More broadly, the theory suggests that people are much more likely to break rules and norms when they see obvious signs of disorder around them. This has been proven experimentally multiple times. Minor disorder and sloppiness in your life can lead to bigger problems in the future. People are reluctant to contradict a calm, composed person. On the contrary, if someone aggressively defends their opinion, people will resist and argue with them. Nothing sounds better to a person than their own name. The first thing to remember when meeting someone is their name. Not their job, not their profession, but their name. This is the fundamental rule for building good relationships. Psychologists have determined that it takes a woman only 45 seconds to assess an unfamiliar man, 10 seconds to get an overall impression of his body, 8 seconds to assess his eyes, 7 seconds on his hair, 10 seconds on his lips and chin, 5 seconds on his shoulders, and the final 5 on a ring, if there is one. People suffering from depression often say they see the world in shades of gray. It turns out this isn't just a psychological phenomenon. The dulling of colors in depression has a physiological basis. In a state of depression, the retina becomes less sensitive to color contrast and less able to differentiate between shades. Conversely, if you're surrounded by gray and dull colors, the likelihood of falling into depression or melancholy increases. Incompetent people often rise higher on the career ladder than their more qualified colleagues. According to the Dunning-Kruger effect, people with low skill levels tend to overestimate their abilities. And when they make poor decisions, they are often unable to recognize their mistakes. Those with high skill levels, on the other hand, see things more clearly and tend to underestimate their abilities, thinking others don't value them highly. These conclusions were experimentally confirmed in 1999. Friends, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's the best support for us as we put great effort into making these videos for you. Women feel loved by engaging face-to-face with their partner. Men, in contrast, feel emotional closeness when working, playing, or sitting side by side with their partner. The most famous example of deception through honesty, a person who openly states their dishonest intentions, is perceived as more honest by others than someone who lacks such intentions or hides them. You can remember only 3 or 4 elements at a time. The magic number 7 ± 2 rule states that a person cannot store more than 5 to 9 blocks of information simultaneously. Most information in short-term memory lasts 20 to 30 seconds, after which we quickly forget it unless we repeat it over and over. A child begins to perceive their separate self only after 2 years of age. Before that, they feel one with the surrounding world, just as we consider our arms and legs part of ourselves. 90% of all diseases have a psychological component. Full recovery is only possible when a person regains their inner balance. It's been proven that a child deprived of physical contact for an extended period will deteriorate and could even die. Thus, a lack of physical and emotional connection can be fatal for a person. It's a type of sensory hunger that everyone needs to fulfill in life. Psychological observations show that in personal interactions, people can't look at each other all the time, only for about 60% of the total conversation time. However, eye contact may exceed this in 2 cases, between lovers and when aggression is present. Therefore, if an unfamiliar person stares at you for a long time, it often indicates hidden aggression. Pupils are beyond conscious control, so their reaction clearly shows your partner's interest. Dilation of the pupils indicates increased interest in you, while constriction signals hostility. However, this phenomenon should be observed in context, as pupil size is also affected by lighting conditions. Pupils narrow in bright sunlight and dilate in a dark room. If you decide to start something important, never tell anyone about it or nothing will come of it. When you announce your plans, your brain puts an imaginary "done" checkmark, and it's hard to convince it otherwise. This may sound like a superstition, but psychologists have confirmed this pattern with serious studies and surveys. To gain someone's trust, hug them for about 20 seconds, but only if they're willing, of course. It's all about oxytocin, the hormone released when we feel safe, including when we're with loved ones. It also calms and relaxes us. Another reason to embrace on long winter evenings. If you enjoyed this video, friends, don't forget to like and subscribe. There will be lots of new and interesting content here.